Didn't see the latest greatest hits of missed layups, the missed layups clinic that Angel Reese put on from last night's game. It's like a greatest hits collection of missed layups. I can't even believe this is real.
Angel Reese just took the biggest L of her basketball career, and honestly, it was only a matter of time. She stepped on the court against Napheesa Collier's Lunar Owls, thinking she could get away with her usual antics, but not this time. She got exposed in real time. Let's be real, she's been doing the absolute most lately, whether it's talking big online or acting like she's the face of the WNBA. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is out here actually putting the league on her back.
And this is the same player that just came out and said, if they don't pay them the bag in the WNBA, we say.
Now, after getting outplayed, Angel Reese is left scrambling. And this whole thing proves one major fact. If Caitlin Clark wasn't around, the WNBA would still be stuck in the shadows, waiting for anyone to care.
There's 2 different videos now floating around out there, and it's unbelievable. Now, Angel Reese last night, once again, had one of the worst shooting games in the history of planet Earth. For what's supposed to be a big? I mean, what in the hell is going on here? I understand her team won. I get it. 5 of 13 from the field. 13 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, only 10 points. All right, her team won. That's great. But it was Chelsea Gray that carried their asses last night. Let's just be real.
Picture this. It's a game in the unrivaled 3x3 basketball league. Angel Reese, full of confidence, steps onto the court with her squad, Rose BC. Across from her, Napheesa Collier, a certified hooper who lets her game do the talking. The game tips off, and within minutes, it's clear Reese is struggling. She's out here throwing elbows, flailing her arms, and playing defense that looks more like an audition for a WWE contract. At one point, she literally collides into Collier, like she thought she was playing NFL linebacker. But instead of intimidating Collier, it just made her look desperate, like that one kid at the playground who can't dribble, so they just start fouling everybody. Meanwhile, Collier was locked in, splashing shots, making plays, and showing exactly why she's respected in the game. By the final whistle, Reese's team took the L, and social media wasted zero time calling her out. Now, this is where things get really funny. After the game, instead of owning up to her bad performance, Reese did what she always does, double down. If you know Reese, you know she loves to act like the main character. She gets cooked on the court. She hits Twitter with cryptic tweets like, she's going through a breakup. She gets benched. She posts a selfie with the caption, asterisk, they hate me 'cause they ain't me. Asterisk, but here's the problem. At some point, you actually have to back it up on the court. And right now, she's looking more like a TikTok influencer who stumbled into a basketball career than an elite athlete. She's got the endorsements, the flashy outfits, and the Instagram clout, but what she doesn't have, a game that makes her undeniable.
She shouldn't be practicing no jumpers from nowhere. I mean, she ought to be just layup after layup after layup. Because let's be real, a lot of the heat she takes is because of this. And it's because it's not to be believed. I just can't even believe it. Let's roll this right here. Look at this. 1, 2. I mean, are you kidding? 3. What is happening? Again. You. I mean, I just can't even. I just can't even believe it.
It's like watching someone flex an expensive car, only to realize they don't even have a driver's license. Like, girl, we get it, you're famous. But what are you actually famous for? Let's be real. Angel Reese looks more interested in social media than improving her game. She's out here making TikToks, attending red carpet events, and cashing in on brand deals, while her actual basketball skills remain mid at best. Remember when she made headlines for renting an $8,000 a month luxury apartment, one that cost more than her entire WNBA rookie salary? That's like blowing your whole paycheck on designer shoes, then realizing you can't afford bus fare. But of course, she wasn't worried. Those endorsement deals keep rolling in. The sad part? She could be great if she actually focused on her craft. Instead, she's doing everything except dominating the league. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is in the gym, breaking records, and proving that talent speaks louder than Instagram likes. Clark is to the WNBA what Steph Curry was to the NBA when he revolutionized the game with his deep shooting. She made people care. And you know what she doesn't do? Run to social media every 5 seconds for validation. Meanwhile, Angel Reese plays the villain, but not even in a cool way. She's like the antagonist in a movie who talks big, but never actually wins the final fight. She wants to be the face of the league, but let's be real, faces don't get benched, exposed in primetime games, or attract more attention for their off-court antics than their actual performance. At this point, Reese needs to decide what she wants to be. If she wants to be a social media star, fine, go be a TikTok sensation, start an OnlyFans, do whatever makes her happy. But if she actually wants to be one of the greats, she needs to humble herself and put in the work. Because in the world of sports, talking without backing it up only gets you so far. And here's the biggest kicker. If Caitlin Clark never came along, nobody would even be talking about the WNBA like this. That's the truth Angel Reese and her fans don't want to admit. So instead of running to Twitter every time she gets called out, maybe she should take this L, get back in the gym, and start acting like she actually wants to win. Until then, she's just another player who got cooked and couldn't handle the heat. Oh, Angel Reese, you really thought you could waltz into the WNBA off social media hype, miss layups that high schoolers make in their sleep, and still demand to be called the next big thing? That's hilarious. You'd rather spend hours curating your TikTok brand, posting thirst traps, and chasing clout than actually working on your game. And now, it's painfully obvious to everyone watching. How do you, a so-called professional basketball player, botch shots that middle schoolers could make blindfolded? How does someone with so much backing and so much hype airball from 2 feet away? Instead of locking in and putting in the work, you're too busy worrying about social media engagement. And then, you want to stand next to Caitlin Clark and demand the same level of respect? Caitlin Clark doesn't have to tell people she's great. Her game speaks for itself. Meanwhile, you have to beg for attention, throw tantrums when you're not the center of the conversation, and rely on social media stans to gas you up because your on-court performance sure isn't doing it. Even your own teammates and fellow WNBA players are starting to see through the act. At first, they played along. Maybe they even believed you were the next big thing. But now, they're realizing you're just a walking PR stunt, a social media influencer masquerading as a basketball player. They see you putting in the bare minimum, more focused on getting the right camera angle for your next Instagram story than actually improving your game. And that respect? It's fading fast. The WNBA desperately tried to push a rivalry between you and Caitlin Clark, but let's be real. What rivalry? Clark is out here breaking records, hitting logo threes, and elevating the game, while you're out here struggling to hit open shots and celebrating meaningless rebounds. Your teammates are tired of covering for your mistakes, watching you brick shots, and then flex like you just won a championship. When you first got drafted, maybe there was excitement. Maybe people thought you'd bring real talent to the league. But now? Now, they just roll their eyes every time you do something ridiculous on the court. At the end of the day, you can't fake greatness. And now that the illusion is crumbling, all you're left with is a social media following and a whole lot of people shaking their heads at what could have been, if only you cared more about basketball than brand deals.